Hi everyone. Today I would like to share how it's like to work in the States as a Japanese ballet dancer. So, in the beginning, I would like to talk about who I am. I'm Marika. I'm from Japan. I was born and raised here, and I went to bilingual academic school growing up. So, I speak Japanese and English. Obviously, my English is second language. I started dancing when I was 2 because my mom used to dance ballet as hobby. So I started dancing when I was like a baby with diapers on. And then after graduating middle school in Japan, I went to Elmhurst Ballet School, which is in Birmingham in the United Kingdom, to study ballet full time. I just went there for a year, eventually moved back to Japan after that, and then tried to audition for companies in the States because I'm short. I'm 5'1" and a half. In European ballet companies, there is a height request. Not all of them, but like most of them are. And it seemed like there is more chances as a short ballet dancer to get hired in the States. So I mainly auditioned for ballet companies in the States, and I worked for a little ballet company in San Diego, California for a little bit. And then I got a scholarship to do the trainee program in Pittsburgh Ballet Theater. So I went there for just a year. While I was in Pittsburgh, I tried to audition for so many ballet companies in the States to get an official full contract because I was just a trainee there. And was 19 back then. First company I heard back was State Street Ballet, Santa Barbara, California. I actually hadn't heard of Santa Barbara until I got the email back from the company. When I got the email back, I was like, okay, I'm coming without, researching anything. And then I went there and it was so like surprising because Santa Barbara is like the most beautiful place in the States in my experience. It was a good surprise. And I took the company class on stage, which was very stressful. But the director really liked me, and I think I was kind of the dancer they were looking for at that time. I immediately got hired after the company class, which was very lucky. It was like one of the happiest day I've had in my life. And then I moved to Santa Barbara in September when the season started. That was 2015. And I danced in this company, State Street Ballet, for 9 seasons in total, so almost 10 years. And I left the company last year and I moved back to Japan last summer. Since then, I've been freelancing here in Japan. So from now on, I would like to share about what's it like to work in the States as a Japanese ballet dancer. I would like to mention in the beginning that this experience I'm going to talk about is my experience, so it doesn't mean everybody has the same experience. I don't want people to think that I think I'm the only one who's right. I'm just talking about Marika perspective. First of all, the challenge I had, especially when I started working professionally in the beginning, I felt like it is very important to put yourself out there and have opinions when you work in the States and be verbal about it and being able to speak up about what you are thinking. In Japan, harmony is so important, and reading the vibe is so important to make sure that you are not making other people uncomfortable and to kind of guess what other people are thinking. When you talk strongly about your opinion, sometimes it can change the vibes. In the States, if you don't speak up or like have no opinions about anything, I feel like people actually take advantage of you sometimes because there is no boundaries set because you're not saying anything. Like people don't read your mind. It's not really a thing. You have to speak up. It can be really hard in my perspective as Japanese because I try to make peace. And I think I did that for a long time. I do felt frustrated sometimes because it can be really hard environment to be in. It's just awkward to be in the middle of arguments because people have such different opinions. On the other hand, I think it's really important to have that argument, I would say debate, so that there is more honest shared opinions and thoughts. So you actually have more open minded ideas and you'll kind of hear other people's honest perspective. Towards the end, I try to set more clear boundary and when I have strong opinions about something. And I think that was good lesson for me because people were very respectful towards me, which has been a bit difficult since I moved back to Japan because I think I can be a bit pushy in Japan now. So it's an adjustment. It's difficult, but like you kind of have to live through the balance. So I'm still adjusting. Oh, one more thing. This is, I guess, controversial. People love to talk about politics compared to Japan and the States. So, like, sometimes it could get very too passionate. It can be very, very awkward. It has happened in the studio. That was very difficult to deal with as a Japanese. It is important to have opinions. It was very awkward to have that conversation and everywhere all the time. Next thing, there is more chance slash opportunities in the States compared to Japan because I feel like in Japan there is a huge culture of respecting the older people. Not all the times, obviously, but sometimes your ability doesn't matter. I mean, it can happen in the States. I'm just talking about general experience I had. If you are older, you are more respected. However, in the States, I felt like if you're performing well or your ability is high, you get more chance and opportunities respected than how old you are or what kind of resume you have or anything. Like I think it was more about your performance and ability producing towards the company, which I liked. I personally tried my best all the time for 9 season in the ballet company I worked for. Well, like obviously, like everybody should, but like sometimes you are unmotivated. But I am very confident that I was always trying my best of best to be able to produce the best work. The reason why I did that is obviously like I love ballet and I want to be able to perform well every single show because that's my passion. But also whenever I wanted to request or have reasonable opinions, like I felt like that was reasonable opinions, the faculty could listen to me or take me seriously when I have something I needed in order for them to keep me. Which I think it's pretty strategic, but I'm just being honest. I don't want to be like fake about this. I think it's really important for especially dancers to have the boundary being able to ask and speak up. But in order to do that, I felt like it's more convincing if I'm performing well and producing the work more than they were expecting. Also, I could convince myself strongly in order to make the statement. Next thing is pretty sensitive subject. So I'm kind of sweating and stressed. In the States, everyone's so sensitive about what they talk about their race. I think it's great because everybody's conscious about unconscious bias. For example, in ballet, not much ballet companies do Bayadil or Pharaoh's Daughter, that kind of ballets as much because those ballets are very culture focused ballet. Also, non Western cultures portrayed by Western people through stereotypes from Westernized image. For example, Nutcracker Chinese, it was very normal to paint your face in yellow and have chopsticks on your hands and then like have like this, beard. Stereotyped Chinese people in the era they created the ballet. Nowadays, it's amazing how in ballet society in the States, they are trying to become more culturally aware and portray the culture in a right way, not by stereotyping. It doesn't really happen in Japan. Since it's a tiny island country, we only mostly have Japanese people, and people are not really aware about unconscious bias. Next thing I would like to talk about in American society, socializing was such a huge status. Um, it was so difficult for me because I know I look extroverted. I'm like actually very introverted. So I get so tired when I meet new people. For example, when you have a housewarming party or like some sort of party, everybody invites everyone. People like to invite all of your friends. It doesn't matter if you're not in the same group or not. And I just never understood why. Like in Japan, well, yes, there is some sort of party, but like it's not that often to meet people who don't have much relationship with. At least you ask everyone and make sure if it's okay to bring someone who you don't know, to be respectful and to not to kill the vibes, which I love. I love the vibes. I love reading the vibes because like that's how I grew up, and I love the peace. And it doesn't mean like inviting people who you don't know make the conflicts or anything, but you just feel comfortable being around people who you actually know well as an introvert. That's my experience. It's always nice to meet new people and learn the new experience, but it was challenging for me, TBH. I think my experience is very rare since the ballet company I worked for, the season was September to May. So I always came back to Japan for summer. So I kind of was living in Japan and the States, half and half, like 4 months in Japan and 8 months in the States. So I definitely have both perspectives. However, I only had professional experience in the States. So it's been such a challenging journey to be able to work in Japan. Again, like I have to adjust stuff and how I talk with people, especially who are in higher hierarchy than me. I do love how people are so respectful to each other, and there is no much drama than the States. Like there is a conflict, but like there is no verbal arguments, and people are more peaceful. I do enjoy that as well. From my experience I talked about today, I am not saying like, oh, America's better or Japan's better. I'm just like sharing the fact it's different in each country's culture. I would consider myself as a international hybrid human. I hope you guys enjoyed my experience. And yeah, I just don't want to offend anybody. I'm trying to make more English videos so that everyone can enjoy my video, even though you don't speak Japanese. Please like and subscribe this video and my channel. Please leave in the comments if you have any questions or like what you guys thought about this video. See you guys in the next video. 今日からみんなもハッピーダンシングまたね